How did you get started in your career?
I never had. Some people will tell you that they've had this burning desire to be an architect ever since they were a little kid, or an engineer, and I never had that. When I was in high school, back in the 50s, you were pretty much expected by your junior or senior year to know what you wanted to be for the rest of your life, and I had no idea. When I was a junior, I went down to see my uncle in Mobile, Alabama. My uncle was a civil engineer, and he had a partner who was an architect. I spent more time with the architect, and I really got at least interested in pursuing it. In my senior year, there was a teacher, Roger Goodman, at Arundecoit High School, who kind of mentored me a little bit, and I got more and more interested in architecture. He taught industrial arts. So I ended up going to Syracuse and went through the endurance contest of 5 years to get to graduation, and that was how I started.
What year did you get your architectural license?
I got my license in 1969. I had my first job as a summer intern, and this will tell you a little bit about how things have changed. My summer job was to take a roll, 42-inch wide roll of vellum, drawing vellum, and cut it into, I think they were 34-inch high sheets, and then take each sheet and draw a border, and then put a pre-printed paste-on label in the corner, which was the title block. So I took a roll of paper and created drawing sheets. Interestingly enough, if you did like an average sized elementary school, it might take 30 sheets total for architectural, all the disciplines, maybe 30 sheets. They were different times. The contractors, it was pre-lawyer, let's put it that way.
Why don't you tell us about when you first met Phil and the transition from the company to Clark Patterson?
Yeah, I think that's important to know. I can't tell you the dates, the day that it was or anything, when it was, a while ago. Phil, of course, is a civil engineer. Had a successful firm on Water Street, and I was an architect and had a small firm, and there were several firms that we knew of that like an engineering firm that had one or two architects as sort of a side thing, and there were some architects that had a firm that had engineers that were sort of a side thing, and Phil and I thought there was a market and a need for a combination architecture engineering firm where they were treated as equals and where we could market it as co-professionals looking for a common goal.
What are some of your favorite hobbies?
My favorite hobbies. I like photography, obviously. I take occasionally a fairly good picture. Normally they're just pictures, but I enjoy photography a lot. Astronomy has historically always been my biggest hobby. As I get older, I realize that I like to sleep. That's not good for an astronomer. We used to sail a lot. We owned sailboats and belonged to the yacht club. I love sailing. Believe it or not, I collect stamps. Stamps and pocket watches. Sounds nerdy, but that's what I like to do.
Do you have any pets?
We have two pets. We have a 15-year-old Chihuahua, a little white Chihuahua called Cecilia, and she's been great. And we have a Siamese cat that when we lived at Honeoye Falls, one winter day, he just showed up in the garage. And speaking of white chihuahuas, 15 years old, she's been a sweetheart.
Wow.
I remember you used to bring her into the office, and
Yeah,
only
I used to take her with me all the time.
you
I
used to,
even took her to meetings. It was surprising. No one objected. I guess they didn't want to.
What would your coworkers be most surprised to learn about you?
I'm a twin. I have a twin sister. My mother, interestingly enough, was a twin. She had a twin sister. And the other thing might be that I was one of the founders of what is today SWBR.
Do you have a favorite architect? And if so, who is it?
No, I don't, as a matter of fact. There are a couple people in the firm that I think will be my favorite architects. They're very, very talented. This house was designed by Joseph Patrick Flynn, and he's becoming one of my favorite architects. I've been doing a lot of research on him.
What's been the biggest change in the industry that you've noticed since you started working?
I'm tempted to say computers and stuff, but in reality, I think the biggest change is how you always, when you do a project today, you do the drawings and the design and everything else almost with a self-defensive attitude. That is the biggest single change I think I've seen. The rest of the stuff is techniques on how you do things. Instead of drawing with a pencil, now you draw with a computer. But you still draw. You still have to know how to put it together. You still need the same experience and the same education.
through everything that you've designed, what's your favorite thing to design? If you had to pick.
You know, I've never done one. I've always wanted to do a bridge. I would love to design a bridge.
That's going, kind of turn into an engineer.
Well, you know, it's kind of like a disease. That's one thing about working at CPL is you really gain an appreciation for the other disciplines. Part of it is the fact that we're scattered, and you might be sitting next to an engineer, and you might be able to have daily conversations about what you're working on or what you're doing. You learn an appreciation for the other disciplines, and it's nice. It's camaraderie. It's just very nice.